Happy New Year. My name is JB Bolbadin. I'm the founder and CEO of Tilbury Success Solutions, a Grant Cardinal licensee. And I have with me a special guest and friend, David Ilkay, associate broker, and just dominating the marketplace, here to give us some great advice. Thank you for being here today, David.
Thank you, JB. Thanks for having me.
It's my pleasure. So it's funny, David, I was actually, we're talking off camera. New Year's resolution, number one is lose weight, which we've probably heard a million times, right?
Right.
The next one is buy a house.
This is the first time I'm hearing that.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing for me, I guess.
Yeah, it's a great thing.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this today and you're actually looking to buy a house in the near future or sell your house, which means you're probably buying another one, you probably have some questions, some things that came to mind, and what we want to do is we want to actually get that answer today. I think we have a really good amount of stuff to talk about today, some stuff that will really inform people, but more importantly, it'll empower them, because there's a lot of information going around, right? Everyone's giving it, and people who aren't even professionals in real estate. And then there's some people who have a real estate license, but we wouldn't call them a professional.
Correct. Correct, unfortunately.
Yeah. So what we want to do is we want to actually go ahead and remove a lot of misinformation and give people the data they need to actually buy and do that.
Right.
So, I mean, let's talk about this, because a lot of people are wondering when they're going to buy a house, is there actually even a benefit of working with one company over another? Is there differences in companies?
I believe, JB, it used to be a difference maybe 15, 20 years ago, when the digital, marketing wasn't there. And, most of the companies we know right now, digital companies in the market, they didn't even exist in the year 2000.
That's true.
So it was important then, but I believe it's not so important right now. As long as you are working with an agent that knowledgeable, and they have the technology to support them, the company name really doesn't matter that much.
Understood. So the most important thing to evaluate is not necessarily the company the agent works for, but the agent and
Correct. I mean, the company's reputation or the size of the company is not going to help to sell your home.
Right.
It's the agent who's in the house, who's talking to the buyers directly. So that's more important than the company itself.
That makes sense. So evaluate the agent, not the company, not the brand as much.
Exactly.
Because that's who's really working for you.
Exactly.
Understood. So I mean, so now that we're evaluating the agent, what would qualify that agent to actually be someone that you would hire as a buyer or a seller?
I mean, personally, in my opinion, the agent has to be knowledgeable, not only about the environment, like the comps, but also about the house itself. He has to give ideas to the buyers, work with their imagination, what can be done in the future with the house, that type of thing. And of course, the most important that it has to be an active agent, reachable.
Right.
So that's very important too. And it's your personal judgment, like any other business, real estate. You talk to the agent. If it's personable, convincing person, then it's going to be a good agent to sell your home.
Makes sense. So you got to basically find someone who's competent, who's experienced in this, and also, values customer service, services you properly, and also knows how to do the actual job of locate, negotiate, fix any issues along the way, and close.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, and by the way, it's hard to find both. You got some people that are good at being an agent, the technical side, but maybe not the service side. Then you got some people who are very good at building relationships, but not good on the technical side.
I also believe fake it until you make it.
Yeah.
If you are missing some aspects of your experience, you can always try to compensate them. But you don't want to look clueless in front of a buyer or seller.
Right.
So you have to compensate yourself somehow.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
for sure. And I mean, and fake it till you make it is good, because it's.
That's my favorite.
You have to. You might as well be confident if you don't know what you're doing.
Of course, the confidence is a must.
So if someone's looking to now let's talk from a selling perspective. You're looking to sell your house. The two biggest questions that agents get, and the two biggest things that the homeowner takes away from the appointment, is how much you believe their house is worth, and how much commission do you charge. Now, since commission is a negotiable thing and it changes by region, let's talk about the more blanket thing, which is how do you properly list a property? How do you determine that price?
Of course, the comps in the area is one of the things that you have to consider, because you can sell the house at a certain price, but if it doesn't appraise, then you have to go back to comps like the bank does, and then you have to adjust your price. But the bottom line, I always believe there is a bracket of the price that your house has to be in. For example, it has to refer to the buyers from 500 to 550. If you're at 549, you're referring to the whole $50,000 range.
Right.
So besides that, at the end, market will determine the price, as you know. You can ask any price, but it's going to be depending on the offers you get eventually.
So in that sense, you want to be practical based off the comparables and be within ranges of easy search. But also you want to be realistic that at the end of the day, the final price is determined by the market itself and the buyer, and accept those realities when it comes to that point.
Correct. I mean, look, everybody thinks that their house is the most valuable thing for them. Of course it is. I mean, because there's an emotional attachment to the house.
For sure.
But at the end, it comes down to some physical aspects of the house, like how many bedrooms you have, what's the square footage of the house, and the neighborhood.
Right.
That if you are your neighbor is selling the house for 500, you can expect to sell your house for $1 million.
Yeah.
So you have to be reasonable with that also.
That's true. So I mean, expectations have to be set, and then you have to go with the actual black and white data that helps move the deal along.
Exactly. Yeah.
Fair. Yeah, that's fair. And then, like, for example, how can you actually make your home stand out to actually get the price you're looking for?
That's one of the most important things, JB, because right now the market is a buyer's market. As you know, there are many houses in the market. So you have to distinguish your home from others. And the ways to do that, of course, you have to have a very good online presence, which requires digital pictures, maybe some video tours, and a nice description of the property. And I'm a big believer of staging. And especially, like, of course, you have a vacant house, staging is a must. But even if you live in the house and you have furniture and everything else already, staging still makes a huge difference. Because these professional people come to your house and they give you idea about how the floor has to go, and make small changes, put a picture there or painting, and then put a flower here. And believe me, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
So you should work with an agent that opens to staging and help you with staging, professionals.
That makes sense. I mean, isn't it interesting that for some reason, a store that sells candy cares about how it looks? A gas station that sells gas, cigarettes, and drinks and all this other stuff, they care about how it looks. But for some reason, there's realtors out there that don't believe that staging a house has any effect on the purchase. That's
a big mistake. And believe me, it makes a huge difference when you work with a stager.
Oh yeah, I'm sure, because people have to actually envision the design and the image, and for some reason, a lot of real estate professionals take that for granted.
Correct.
So, someone lists their house, it didn't sell. Now what?
I know that's the most frustrating part, obviously. So you listed your house for 6 months, and you inconvenience yourself every time somebody comes. You have to clean up the house and show them the house. And at the end, it's really frustrating, but like any other experience that didn't go well, you have to learn from the experience, and you should know what went wrong, especially price-wise, or again, like staging. And then try to correct those, and next time you're going to see the big difference. When you try to sell it again, you'll be more successful.
That makes sense. So you got to make improvements and make adjustments as accordingly, and it'll sell.
Correct. Never give up. Like is in business, never give up. You can always make changes. You can always make it better, and then sometimes even get better prices too.
That makes sense. So it's something you just got to you have to just make the changes, and also I think another important thing is probably accepting reality.
Of course,
because some people won't won't believe that the price is any issue. They won't believe that condition is any issue or the marketing is any issue, and they attempt the same thing, and now they lose a year.
As long as you don't take the criticism in a bad way, that will always help you to improve your product, which is your home, and then it's going to help you to sell it better. Yeah,
makes total sense. So we're going back to buyers now. So someone has decided they want to buy a house, they're ready to roll.
Right.
What's the first step that they're going to take?
I think the first step for buyers, just make sure you need a house. You need to buy a house, because most of the cases, people think, oh my God, this is the biggest investment in my life. I have to buy a house. I have to start investing in my future. But maybe you are not ready.
Right.
Maybe you don't need to buy the house and get all those expenses that you are not getting right now as a tenant, for example. Yeah. So financially, you have to be ready. And also, like socially, like if you have a family, of course you have kids, they have to go to school. Those type of things is fine. But if you are not ready, don't push yourself to buy a house yet.
Okay, so make sure don't just want it, need it, and be ready to actually do the deal, like appropriately.
Exactly.
So it can potentially be a bad investment if you're going in overextended and buying it unnecessarily.
When I talk to the buyers, first thing I tell them, look, get a mortgage approval. And the payments of mortgage has to make you comfortable.
Right.
If you are stressing about the payments already, you shouldn't buy that house. So you have to be comfortable with your finances to purchase the house that's gonna help your family grow.
Yeah. That's 100% true. It has to be an actual investment.
Exactly.
If you're scared of it, it's probably a liability.
Scare and stressful, that kills the most of the home ownership, unfortunately.
That makes sense. And now, like, if someone's looking to buy at this point, they're going out there, should they work with an agent? And is it even important to anymore with all technology out there?
As you said, the technology is so amazing. I mean, sometimes buyers know more than the agent does.
Yeah.
So if you are working with an agent, just make sure that they bring something more than what you know to the table. So they bring a value. Otherwise, everything else you can do it yourself. Everything is online. But some things that the agents from their experience can help you to get a better deal. That type of thing. Otherwise, everything else is online.
So you want to add value by working with an agent. Still is important, but they have to be a skilled one that brings more value, more knowledge than you know.
Definitely.
Not someone who's reading the same thing you're reading.
No.
Because then they're not an agent. They're just piggybacking.
They are just showing agents. This is living room. This is dining room, and you can see that yourself. So you don't need anybody for that.
So true. So what are some important points to focus on when buying a house? What are these things that really pop out that you need to really have attention on?
I mean, the major things in the house, of course, the physical, like roof, boiler system, heating system, and an engineer can help you to discover these things, and you can use this to your advantage also. Let's say if the house needs work, it needs a roof or a new heating system, you can negotiate the price based on that.
Right.
So that will give you an advantage. And some buyers shy away from a deal just because something is broken or something is not there. They should consult with a professional. How much would it cost to do those things first, and then make their decision instead of rushing to the decision because something is broken.
And here's another thing too: if you're scared to buy a house because something is broken, then you should be scared to own a house because something's going to break.
Exactly.
So
that's true. Yes.
It has to be something that you need to mentally be okay with or accept as a reality, at least.
As I said, take advantage of it. I mean, if something is not working or something is broken, you can negotiate the price based on that. But you should have an idea how much you have to spend to fix those things, of course.
Right. It has to be a realistic negotiation too. Like, for example, if the dishwasher is broken, you can't ask for a $20,000 concession on the price.
Exactly. So your agent, again, can help you with these negotiations. They can give you an idea about, if the agent is knowledgeable, they can tell you how much the heating system is going to cost. Right. So you know exactly what it is, and then you can make your offer based on that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it makes the most sense. So these are some things that you definitely want to focus on when you're buying a house, because you have to understand there's opportunity even where things that you don't like. There's an opportunity for you to maybe actually get a better deal than you thought.
Exactly.
It's not necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah.
So what are the do's and don'ts? So I bought my house. What are the do's and don'ts of upgrading the house?
let's say you bought a house, it's a small house, but you have a growing family. Now you have 2, 3 kids and you need a larger house. The first thing you should do is to find out how much you're going to get for your home, your current home, before you look for other houses. Because I have so many buyers comes to me and they say, oh, we have a house, we are looking for a new one. If you find something we like, we are going to sell that one. And I tell them it doesn't work that way. It's like a reverse engineering. You have to be in the market with your house and at least get a contract for your house to sell. Then you can go ahead and look for other houses. Because let's say I show you 10 houses today, right? And you like one of them. You want to give an offer. You have nothing to back up that offer with. You don't have the money. You're going to tell the other people, oh, I have to sell my house first. Can you wait? Nobody's going to wait for that.
All the credibility is gone.
Gone. Correct.
So you have to make sure you're using the right sequences when you're doing something.
Exactly.
Before you make a move. How do you actually find a good deal these days?
Believe it or not, you can still even find good deals on MLS, like in your multiple listing service. I look for some keywords like needs work, or I look for how long they've been in the market for. If a house in the market for 6, 7, 8 months, that tells me the owner is more negotiable than the house came to market last week. Or as I said, if the house needs work, you can bring your contractors, find out how much you have to spend. You can give an offer based on that. But those houses usually more negotiable than like totally renovated, brand new listings.
But if you have the right resources, you can actually make it a better house. When you customize it yourself.
Exactly.
Assuming you have the right resources, it can be more expensive too.
So your resource should be your real estate agent or broker. If you are working with somebody knowledgeable about the market, about fixing it or construction, they can give you, be a very great help for you.
Yeah, that's great. And now, okay, so here's one of the best things. So right now, someone who's watching this, can they ask you questions directly? Can they reach out to you?
I like questions, and you can ask me anytime. If we can put my number underneath, I will definitely answer your questions. You can call me, you can text me. I'll try to answer, as much as I can.
Look, so if you're looking to buy or sell real estate this year, it's very important to realize that, one, you're probably making a good decision, but it's good to evaluate, make sure, and confirm it is. Once you've decided it's a good decision and you're ready to roll, use the information you've actually learned today to take that to the next level. Make it a smooth process. Just because it's a big transaction doesn't mean it has to be difficult or painful. It can actually be relatively easy and fun. And also, don't hesitate to follow up. David's information is below. Feel free to reach out to him via call or text, and I'm sure you'll get what you're looking for. David Ilkay, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thanks for having me, JB.